Do you think pimping this girl?
I don't think so.
Do you think she's with?
I do not.
If you catch wind of where she may be, I need you to call me. So we just got done talking to a lead. I figured out another name of a person I need to speak to see if they can give me the whereabouts of Darby.
Wow. Detective, how long had it been since she had been there?
To my knowledge, it was either that day or shortly thereafter.
Okay, so very recently then.
That's correct.
Do you have a trail now that you think can lead you to where she might be?
I do. It depends. The information that I received, obviously from what you saw, has bifurcated my investigation from a runaway missing person to a potential criminal investigation. As of last week, I'm still conducting current investigations to hopefully lead me to find this person that was mentioned in that film there and lead me to a direction where I can accurately locate Darby.
And in that she's 16 and this was a videographer and they were talking about making a film, then in California, would that constitute child pornography?
Yes, if that is the case in point here. Obviously, I haven't done a full investigation to corroborate anything that he said, but if that is the case, there could be obviously a criminal investigation.
If in fact she is in this world with, again, hypothetically, if she is in a world where it's child pornography, if she's being trafficked sexually, if some pimp has got his hands on her and is running her out of some motel or whatever, that is a dangerous scenario. It could involve drugs. It could involve her exposure at a number of levels, correct?
Absolutely.
So this is a dangerous situation and one that should be thought about with some urgency on these parents' part.
Very much so, especially with her age being at risk. It is a dangerous situation for her to be in.
And y'all understand that it doesn't matter if she thinks she's doing this consensually or not. You understand the point is a 16-year-old cannot give consent because the law regards a 16-year-old as not having the capacity to give consent in the eyes of the law. Whether she's going along seemingly willingly or not, I say seemingly willingly because in the eyes of the law, she's a child. And a child doesn't have the capacity to give consent to adult matters. And that's why this is looked at criminally and not just as a runaway. And commonsensically, practically, these are seedy people that she's dealing with. And these girls are a lot more compliant if they're high. And the higher they are, the more willing they are, and the higher they are, the more at risk for overdosing they are. And these street drugs, these are not pharmaceuticals. These are not regulated. They're street drugs. You have no idea what's in them. You have no idea whether they're clean, whether they're mixed properly. You have no idea what's going on. This is a high-risk situation.
Coming up, hours after we taped this conversation with the detective, there was a break in the case. The surprising developments next.
When I contacted the police, we have a runaway teen who's traveling with an older gentleman.
Since her disappearance on October 15th, no one has seen or heard from Darby. Well, after taping the show, we got a shocking call from Ken Childs, the private investigator who we've been working with. Darby was alive and had made contact with him. He had posed as someone looking for blueberries, a street code for drugs. She was set to meet at a location in Venice Beach, not far from our studios. Now, Janice and Wayne were at the airport heading home, but they turned around and rushed to the scene. Here's what happened.
So I created a fake profile and I've been communicating with Darby. On the app, I had told her that I lived in San Francisco, that I'd been in LA, and I was heading back to San Francisco. She messaged me back and asked if she could have a ride. She gave me her address and I contacted the private investigator.
So when I contacted the police, I went ahead and gave them the crucial information. We have a runaway teen who's traveling with an older gentleman. LAPD took Darby into custody.
And we got a call saying that they had arrested Darby. We were so happy. We came down to the police station. Decided to put our differences beside us so that we can be here for our daughter.
You know, from your thoughts going from thinking your daughter may never see her again to seeing her. It's special. Got to be able to come together as a family and give her the help that she deserves. That's what we're doing.
We're so thankful for Dr. Phil and bringing us together.
So, with Darby safe, at least for the moment, the family returned to the hotel. Now, the teen was hungry, exhausted, and just wanted to rest. Now, because of all they had been through, her parents were determined not to lose her again. So they took extra precautions. Take a look.
This morning, waking up knowing that Darby was with us was the biggest relief in my mind. I felt like we had done all this work to find Darby, and I wanted to do whatever it would take to not have her run again. And so I was talking about taking her to the emergency room immediately so that we could make sure that she was placed on a hold.
After talking to each other again, we decided it was in Darby's best interest to take her back to our hotel and get her some food and sleep. And it was important for me to be able to keep an eye on her at all times. So I moved the couch in front of the door and slept on it. That way I knew for sure that she couldn't get out of the room.
I got more sleep last night than I have in the last 3 weeks.
Sleeping in a bed felt amazing. Taking a shower, washing my hair, shaving my legs, my armpits, that was cool. Having food, like, overwhelming with food, like, oh, I couldn't even eat all my food, man.
I feel really sad knowing that Darby had to steal for food, that Darby had to be placed in those situations, that she felt like she had to do those things because Darby is a really good person.
I expected to see Darby in bad shape, so that was a relief for me that we found her in such good condition.
I just felt safe, like holding my parents, like my parents holding me, like it felt good, like I needed that.
Okay, it's good to see you sitting side by side now. So catch me up. Tell me what happened. You were at the airport getting ready to leave, correct? Tell me what happened.
I was at the airport getting ready to leave. I had created a fake profile and was communicating with, trying to communicate with Darby through a fake profile. 20 minutes before getting on the plane, she dropped me her location and she told me where she was at. She thought that I was a young kid that was going to pick her up and take her back to San Francisco for a ride. As soon as I got that location, I contacted the investigator who was also hot on her trail. He said, I'm 5 minutes from the place. He called me back and said, I'm here and she's here. So then I made a phone call to Wayne and said, they have Darby. She's been located and the police are on their way to get her.
I have to tell you, I am so thrilled to hear that the minute you got that phone call, you picked up the phone and called him.
We got together and decided that we were gonna, work as a family.
When we got to the police station, we weren't sure if Darby would run or if she would be happy to see us. We just weren't sure what the situation was going to be. We got together, Shannon, myself, and Wayne, and we all just said, listen, when Darby comes out, we just need to surround her with love. We need to show her that she is loved and that we're here for her and that we have put our differences aside.
How does that feel to y'all to have put all of that conflict aside and put your daughter number one? How does it feel to the two of you?
It's a relief for me. I never gave it a chance before, I guess.
What did I say that got y'all's attention?
Well, you said it, but I also knew it as well, as that you've buried children And you've had parents that have lost their kids that have been in situations like Darby.
I can't tell you what good it does my heart that you two have not squandered this opportunity, that you have been here, you got the wake-up call, and you've acted on it. And God bless you for doing that.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, seriously, God bless you for doing that.
It was a big moment for her and for us as well. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity that we had to kind of get the wake-up call, and that she's safe and that she's okay and that we can have another chance.
She spent 24 days missing on the street. Where was she? Who was she with? How did she survive? Darby is here. We're going to talk about all of that when we come back.
I was hungry. I would do anything for food, really.
And later,
She did say that she did have to sell some drugs. I think it's important for her she be honest.
well, I'm back with Janice and Wayne here, and we were here yesterday talking about Darby, who has run away for the second time. A year ago, she ran away and she got snapped up into sex trafficking. What condition was she in when you met her?
Well, she came out handcuffed, which was really a hard thing. I've never seen my daughter handcuffed. She looked well, and she had taken care of herself, and that was a sigh of relief.
Mm-hmm.
She had told us that she had gone a couple days at one point without eating anything. She was thankful just to be able to have water. It's something as a parent you never expect will happen. It's something you always see or read in the papers or watch on TV, and to be caught up in it, it's unreal.
Now, Darby is here, but before she joins us, here's what she told us after she got picked up.
I came with my friend from San Francisco. We came down to Los Angeles, and then we were just like, let's go to the beach. I came down here with nothing. I came down with a toothbrush and, yeah, toothpaste. It was really stressful because I knew if a police happened to run into me, like that could be the end of this thing that I totally made happen. I just felt like I was gonna find something, like I was gonna just run into the right person and just like be like, oh my gosh, like this is what I came down here for. So many things could have happened to me in 3 weeks. Sometimes I slept in the car, but other times I would go on the beach. I wouldn't sleep on benches. I would never expose myself. I was hungry. I would do anything for food, really. And I started stealing from stores. I did sell drugs because I needed the money. I met someone in Compton. I liked him, and he was this thug dude, but he wasn't cool. He stole my from me. When the police put me in handcuffs, I felt intruded in a way. They put me in handcuffs and I didn't do anything wrong. But then I realized, like, yeah, okay, I can be in handcuffs now, whatever, put me in the car. Yeah, when I walked out of the police station, it felt good to see them. This whole Dr. Phil thing, like, I'm so grateful for it. My parents are interacting with each other. It's different, and I feel like it's really, like, things changed. It just made me feel so happy.
Okay, Darby, please join us. Hi, Darby.
Hi.
How are you? Have a seat. Well, Darby, I'm glad to meet you.
You too.
You've run away. You've been out on the street. Next thing you know, you're here, of all places. You'll be thinking, what the hell?
Right.
You were located and got back together with your parents. Were you glad that you were found?
I was glad.
Yeah. Tell me why.
I took advantage of a lot of things, especially my parents.
In your own mind, there's no right or wrong answer to this. And let me tell you one thing that I know for sure. This is not a situation where we throw you under the bus. This is a family situation, and you weren't here for me talking to them, but I've been very hard on them as parents about what they have to own in this situation and what they need to work on and what they need to change. The dysfunction here is not you being a bad kid. The dysfunction here is that this family unit is not working. How did you wind up in Los Angeles?
I met a guy, a friend, and he told me he was going to LA.
Say a friend, you had known him how long when you got in the car with him to come here?
I just met him then.
Tell me what triggered you feeling the need to run.
A lot of things, a lot of family situations that have gone wrong, a lot of myself, a lot of things that I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even know myself, like I couldn't answer that.
But that's a big decision to take off like you did. Was there some precipitating event? Was there some reason? Because you did this before and it was a terrible experience, right?
Right.
What made you do it again?
I didn't care. I was done, I guess.
Is it safe to say if something had happened where you had died or you had been killed, your life had ended in some way, that would have been a welcome relief?
In a way, at the time. I don't feel that now. I'm so grateful to be with my family. Like, I want to thank you a lot. Like, they can't even sit next to each other like a year ago or a couple months ago. Couldn't stand to look at each other. It's crazy.
This is very different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't easy, I have to tell you. But they have been very sincere in changing their thoughts and beliefs. So that's a big change for you. Were you shocked when you saw that change?
I was shocked. More than shocked. I don't even have a word for that.
Yeah. When you walked out that door in the police station, take me through that moment when you realized that you didn't have to choose, that you could go to them altogether.
It was a relief. It's still a relief. Like, in the past, it was either this parent or this parent. Like, I couldn't, and I loved them both. I don't choose parents. I don't want to choose a parent. And now I don't have to choose a parent. It feels awesome. I hope that this stays, that this isn't just a thing for television. And I know it's not. I've been with them for a day or two, and it feels real. It feels, and I hope it stays like this.
How did you wind up in Los Angeles physically? How did you get here?
Physically, I was in San Francisco, and I met a guy, a friend, and he told me he was going to LA. So I said, can I join you? I shouldn't be in San Francisco. I'm wanted. I'm out in police. People know my face here. So he said, yeah, hop in, and we're in LA the next day.
When you say friend, what kind of friend? How did you know him?
A man, I met him in a crystal shop.
You say a friend, you had known him how long when you got in the car with him to come here?
I just met him then.
Like 10 minutes?
Exactly. He was a stranger. I took chances.
So knowing some guy for 10 minutes, you got in the car with him and headed out of town?
Yeah.
How does that sound to you as it's said back to you?
It sounds dumb. I feel dumb.
Yeah. So y'all actually slept in his car on the beach, right? And then you've been gone for 24 days. What have you been doing?
I've been sleeping in the car, trying to eat, like just barely making it through the day.
Yeah. This man that you met, he never held you against your will or anything, right?
Never.
You could leave whenever you wanted to, so it wasn't that kind of a situation where you were abducted or anything like that?
Nothing.
Did you have trouble getting food and water?
We had trouble even getting to LA. We ran out of gas twice on the road in an old car. It was old, man. A lot of repairs need to be done to it. It was stressful.
Yeah. Did you ever think about going back home?
All the time.
Why didn't you?
I don't know.
You said you didn't feel welcome there.
There was times, yeah.
What did you feel like would happen if you showed back up at home?
Things would be the same. Like, nothing changes. Like, last year, I came back and it was just the same. Like, I knew it would be the same.
Mm-hmm. And you want different. And
Correct.
Leaving with your dad was never really an option, right? Because you say you messed up your relationship with your dad. Things weren't working with your mom, so you were kind of like, there's nowhere to go.
Right.
And so you took off. What do you think would happen if we hadn't found you, if you weren't on the street? If you stayed on the street, what do you think would happen eventually?
I don't know. Something bad.
Did you sell drugs?
I didn't sell drugs.
How did you get money while you were on the street? I was working with the police departments. I had private investigators. We're pulling out all the stops to try to find you. Because I believe that every day you're out there is a day that you're at risk that you don't even understand. I mean, there's one thing I know, is that there are a lot of sick, perverted, demented people out there. And for a young girl, it's a very vulnerable and dangerous situation. How did you get money while you were on the street?
The reason why we went down there is because this friend, he had a room in a yoga studio, and he did massages, and we barely made ends meet. I would book his guests, and I would take care of all of his appointments, and he would just be the masseuse, and I would stay in the car. I wouldn't go in when he had appointments. There was a shower there. We got a shower there.
Did you sell drugs at all?
I didn't sell drugs. There was drugs.
And was there ever a time that you got really scared?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was starving. Like, I found this little glass of water on the beach in a plastic bottle, and I was just so happy to find it. Like, I was just like, thank you, water, bless you, water. Like, I'm so thankful for some water. And then I started getting really desperate, and I was hungry, and I didn't have anything to eat, and I was like, I have this bag, there's a store, and I started stealing food, Dr. Phil.
Do you all have anything you want to say? You've heard her say what she wants. You've heard her say what she sees and what she hopes remains.
I know that previously she did say that she did have to sell some drugs as well. I know some of these subjects are really hard for her, of what she did have to do or what she was doing. I think it's important for her healing that she be honest, and so that we can assist her in getting her the most help that she needs. And you know, it does really break my heart to know that, you know, she doesn't even have water, yet she still won't call home and have us come and get her. And so it's a reality check.
But you're committed to working on that.
I'm absolutely committed to working on it.
Anything that it takes to get Darby help. She told me that when she was on the beach, and with us down there looking for her, we were exposed to this as well, but there was a guy that asked her to go in the bathroom with her, and she knew exactly what he was going in there to do, and it was to go in there to shoot up. And she did say that she didn't want to do it, but she would go in there. So for me as a parent, to know that my daughter is willing to expose herself to those situations, it's just a matter of time before something really terrible will happen to her. And I would just ask you, Darby, to be honest from this day forward with anybody, you know, Dr. Phil, with your counselors that you're going to be seeing, to be able to, for them to help you get through this.
Well, we're going to take a break. when we come back, I have a question for these parents, and I have some very specific, I mean very specific, singular piece of advice for Darby. We'll be right back. You know, Darby said when she came out and saw you all together, and to see you sitting here now, side by side, working together for her benefit, is beyond shocking to her. When you look back at, you know, we're talking about just 48 hours ago, at your mindset then versus your mindset now, can you even believe that you were allowing your own personal attitude, your own personal agendas, your own personal emotions to so unbelievably crowd out the most important thing to you in your entire life?
It's of such little consequence how I've felt personally with Janice and Shannon and their relationship, and you know, the environment that my children are in, that now my sole purpose is just my children, and that's what's most important. And it's I'm looking forward to not being able to, you know, to being able to communicate with Janice and, you know, my children more.
I feel like, you know, with the finger pointing of Wayne trying to make it sound like we were the reason for all these problems, and over the last day that he's gotten to be with Darby and been able to see some of the anxiety and some of her behaviors, he's also been able to see us interact with her and the relationship that we do have with her and how close we are with her.
And do you have any doubt in your mind that if there was a bus coming at the two of them standing in the street, that he would push her out of the way and die to save her?
No, I have no doubt.
You have any doubt?
No.
That man right there would die for her?
No, I have no doubt.
Do you know anyone else on the globe that you can say that about? Any other man on this earth that you can say that would die for that girl besides the man sitting next to you?
No.
Isn't that the last person on earth you would want to wall off? The last person on earth, and you know the same thing. Do you think she would hesitate to die for this girl?
Not at all.
You know that about each other, right? But yet, it sounds so ridiculous when you look at it that way, right? And you know that. You have two people here that would die for you. I have this belief that people know the truth when they hear it. Am I not speaking the truth?
Yes.
I said I was going to give you one very singular piece of advice. It is this. I want you to set a goal where you value yourself enough that I will not put myself in high-risk situations. Does that make sense to you?
Makes sense to me.
I want to introduce Darby and this family. They've met them a little bit. Marcella Rondini is the clinical director and licensed marriage and family therapist for Polaris Teen. And they were here when you weren't here and we were here. And Polaris Teen is an individualized residential mental health treatment program for teens. And Marcella, this is a great success story waiting to unfold. Do you not agree?
Yes, I completely agree. Hi, Darby. I'm Marcella. Here.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. It's so good to see you here and safe. You know, we were praying and hoping that you were going to be here. And it's amazing to see you sitting here with your parents. Our facility is a residential facility. It's just 6 kids. So it's very small, so we can really concentrate on your family. Because this program is for your family. It's not just for you.
This is really something that you deserve and that you guys deserve. And this is a great success story waiting to unfold. And when it does, I want you to come back here and report back and tell us about it, and then I want you to pay it forward. Fair enough?
Fair.
Can we do this?
We can do this.
All right. I agree.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I would like to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to Marcella Rondonnet from Polaris, Detective Michael, and I never can get his last name right. It's Mbanga, from Fairfield Police Department, and Brad Fanner and Brad Allen Investigations, and Ken Childs. We've had a lot of people working on this to get this to where it is, and we are just getting started. So as I say, we will keep you updated on this, and I'm so glad we've come to this end. Are you glad you came here?
I am thrilled I came here. I have my daughter back, and she's alive and safe, and I'm very happy.
You glad you came here?
Yeah, looking forward to the future and the opportunity for Darby to get better.
And I hope you're glad that everybody's here as well.
You brought my family together. I appreciate that.
Well, that's what we're here for. All right. We'll see you next time.
Come save me and take me to a better place. I'm ready, if you're ready. Take my hand, let's get away. You make me leave the past behind. You make me feel alive. Ain't nothing we can do tonight. Let's have the time of our lives. Ain't it easy? Say you'll never leave me, but my heart and her box never let go. Ain't it easy? Say you'll never leave me, 'cause my heart has been broken before. Ain't it easy? Say you'll never leave me, but my heart and her box never let go. Ain't it easy? Say you'll never leave me, 'cause my heart has been broken before. You got me, I got you. You and me against the world. I'm ready, if you're ready. Let me be your only girl. You make me leave the past behind. You make me feel alive. Ain't nothing we can do tonight. Let's have the time of our lives.